it's only too natural to be confused about the newest KTM that has been launched in India, the 125 Duke. Some of you may have simply brushed it aside. After all, who wants to pay 1.18 lakh rupees for a 125cc motorcycle, that too when it makes just 14.5 HP? Some of you will also argue, correctly, that this sort of money can get you a much faster motorcycle like the Bajaj Pulsar NS200 and even the TVS Apache RTR 200 4V. However, has KTM really shot itself in the foot, or is there any reason at all that you should consider this baby Duke? Let's find out. The first and perhaps easiest reason to want a Duke is for the way it looks. It's hard to believe this design, as seen on the 200 Duke, is 8 years old. Now, just because it's a 125 doesn't mean KTM has made it look cheap or skimped on any features. In other words, this means you get those snazzy alloy wheels, a WP branded upside down fork, disc brakes at either end, proven trellis frame, fuel injection, a single channel ABS, digital instrumentation, and well, it really is a long list. On the other hand, while this makes the 125 Duke more premium than even most 200cc bikes out there, it does result in a steep price tag, and I wish KTM would have done something about it to make it a little less expensive. Now, all of that doesn't even matter in the larger scheme of things, because a KTM, most importantly, has to be about performance. Can a 125 really deliver? Yes and no. I have ridden the 125 Duke recently, and the one thing it did really well was identify as a KTM. It sounds similar to the other Dukes we have on sale in India and has the same level of energy and crispness as well. But it's slower, much slower. The liquid-cooled DOHC motor is not a ticking bomb on two wheels. It takes 16.67 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kph, which is a full 3 seconds slower than the TVS Apache RTR 164V, for instance. However, once you get used to the slow motion filter the 125 Duke comes with as standard, it does begin to make a little bit of sense, even if not for every single one of you out there. The 125 Duke is enthusiastic about getting up to 90 kph or so, but beyond that, it takes patience. I did see roughly 115 km per hour on the speedo when I rode it at the KTM test track, but the real world may not offer that kind of uninterrupted riding environment, which means you can't really outrun anyone else except commuters or at best people on other 125 Dukes. Not that you should be racing on the roads in the first place, but even in terms of overtaking, the 125 Duke needs some amount of thought and planning. For example, to go from 30 to 70 kph in third gear takes 6.80 seconds. You definitely won't find much use for sixth gear in the city, but its presence will help it calm down and get you great fuel efficiency as well when you do sneak it out onto the highway. What really makes the 125 Duke special is the chassis. This motorcycle handles with precision, and its responsiveness to rider inputs is simply phenomenal. The brakes and tires are terrific for a 125, and if there's one thing this motorcycle doesn't lack, it's confidence. Having said that, while the aggressive riding position is fun, it's still a bit cramped for taller riders, and pillions may definitely not be most comfortable spending too much time on that tiny rear seat. All things considered, the KTM 125 Duke still doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's hard to look past how slow and expensive it is. However, for somebody who wants a well-configured motorcycle with top-notch components but without an intimidating amount of power, the 125 Duke may be an ideal motorcycle, and a fuel-efficient one as well. We did put it through a fuel efficiency test, and it returned 39.1 kpl in the city and 46.5 kpl on the highway, making it quite possibly the most fuel-efficient KTM in the world. You also have to consider that KTM's cost of service and spares is very inexpensive for a premium motorcycle brand, which makes owning one quite a cheerful experience. Unfortunately, just when the 125 Duke started to appeal a little bit more, Yamaha announced it was going to launch the MT-15 in India. Yes, that motorcycle is going to be launched on the 15th of March 2019, and while it may not be as feature-rich, we suspect it's going to be a bit more fun than the Duke. Stay tuned, this space is going to be a lot of fun in the time to come.